Thank you, Adnan. So a big win for Penn State. They stay in the chase for a Big Ten championship. And out on the flat, and immediately there with the coverage, Chris Worley, as we bring on Perry Hills. You had a big game against Ohio State last year, rushed for 170 yards and had 3 touchdowns.
And he's tough. He's playing with an injured right throwing shoulder, but accuracy in the short game he's been very good at. Third down comes around, Beth. If it's not there, you might want to take off and make some plays with those legs.
That pass incomplete, but we already freshman in school history. And that will not be the case. Ty Johnson will probably carry a heavier load, and on third down the throw, incomplete. Man, the Mountain Mamas headed home for that Oklahoma showdown next week, right?
They're living up to their expectations so far. It's been a nice run for the Mountaineers for sure.
There's another one-loss team. Hills is able to hand it off to Wes Brown, but more negative.
The offense coordinator talked about so far not testing the inside of this Ohio State defense.
Play action, and right in his grill was Tyquan Lewis, but Hills able to get away.
Way in that situation, don't take a hit. Remember, he's got the injured shoulder.
6 plays, and they don't have one for positive yardage yet. So now you're down your starting quarterback. You're without your starting tailback, who was suspended today. And they'll run it out to the 20.
And when it's really tight, he's thrown a lot of interceptions, and they have to find a way to protect him and give him time.
And he makes the completion out to the 30-yard line to here. Well, looking to drop it off, and Worley was
best passer of all 3 quarterbacks on this Maryland roster.
Rowe will step up and throw downfield for a first down to Teldrick Morgan. He breaks the tackle. And
it's in space. The key is time. Great protection by Maryland.
Some positive yardage for Maryland on this third possession. That's DJ.
Down the field, hence the Rowe in the game.
Rowe will drop it off to Johnson. Gets a nice block upfield and puts his shoulder pad.
A run up the middle.
There is Johnson. Met right at the yard to gain. And that was Raekwon McMillan who
Fishbone. See it right in the backfield here. A lot of big bodies to thrust. Offensive line has to come up big.
It's going to be Brown. And Brown bulls his way down inside the 41 to the 40, and they'll get the 4th down. Looking downfield, Rowe has a man behind Hooker and down inside the 5 to Laverne Jacobs.
Does a nice job tracking it, setting up this goal line opportunity.
A 37-yard pass play. Wes Brown stacked up immediately. That was
in the backfield.
That's Terrence Davis and Damian Prince on that right side. Rowe throws it away, takes a hit from Hubbard as 2 yards. This is the 12th play of the drive. We'll send Goins in motion. That'll clear up some room right up the middle for Rowe. And they are going to mark him down short.
Three will lead someone on the run.
And a whistle before the snap.
This is going to be
false start, Maryland.
And this is
a problem they had against Michigan. Red zone penalties.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Beth. It's trickled down and
false start. Offense, number 76.
Stand back and allow them to do some of those things they've done on offense.
Curtis Samuel, 7 touches, 96 yards, and a couple of scores here in the first quarter for Ohio State. Rowe had some problems with the snap. Hits DJ Moore. First 9 games and 21 for the Buckeyes here in the first this afternoon. The defense swarming around.
Outside, number 55, a sophomore.
3rd and 7, the pass incomplete. So Rocky, for both those teams, Virginia Tech and Clemson, to clinch spots in the ACC championship game, and they're both struggling so far. On first down from Maryland, trying to set up.
Helping defensive ends in the country.
Out into the flat to Morgan. He makes the catch, run out of bounds around the 29-yard line.
Then they brought him back.
Put him on defense.
Then they brought him back to linebacker. Now he's playing defensive end. So I'll tell you, he's got a huge learning curve, but he's doing something right. He's playing well up front, along with Taekwon Lewis, who's probably their best. A few players to return, making a statement this year with a big play.
Remarkable what this defense has done. Even though they lost 8 starters, 6 of them drafted into the NFL. And Caleb Rowe will scramble out across the 30.
See some more bodies at the line of scrimmage.
Nick Bosa's in there. Raekwon McMillan stepping right up to the line. Rowe's pass is caught, and a nice tackle short of the first down mark. And that was Damon Webb, who had the pick 6 against Nebraska last week. 4th and 1 in their own territory. Rowe, they try to get to the edge, and they won't make it. Excellent penetration by Garyon Conley to blow that up, and then his buddies came to clean it up.
Beth, we talked about it earlier. If you're going to run against this Ohio...
That was Caleb Rowe and company respond after an interception.
New faces on the defensive line to get some reps for these young players.
Including Nick Bosa right there, number 97. Pregame. Joe Marquez is now in at center and running right up the middle. Jerome Baker, and the 3rd sack of the first half for Ohio State.
Well, you know what happens, Beth? He opens up other things for the rest of the team, like the tight end Jake Butts and other players.
3 different scores today from Samuel. Dontre Wilson with a touchdown. J.T. Barrett responsible for 4 TDs in the first half. This is Wes Brown. Ball pops out. And a takeaway for the Buckeye defense. Jalen Holmes recovers the fumble. It was Raekwon McMillan who knocked it loose.
Well, a lot of people think McMillan doesn't have the aggression, but watch him here. They try to cut him. He's just too athletic. Pops the ball out. These are the turnovers and the quickness. I'm not quite sure why Walt Bell, the offensive coordinator for Maryland, continues to try to get to the perimeter.
State, the team that knocked them out of the playoff race a year ago. And then that Michigan game on November 26th. On the carry, Ty Johnson.
This year, but that is a rivalry game. And then you got that much waiting for Michigan team that is playing some really good physical football.
Probably the biggest matchup in that rivalry in a decade.
Big things that you kind of build upon, and you're trying to get ready right for these games in November. That's all Coach has been talking about, prepping the team, moving forward for those big games. And that one we all talked about, Michigan upstairs, and they're always been on the same page, and that's what's going to help him get better for this final push.
Taekwon Lewis with the tackle, and that's something. Big win, big numbers last week. They're putting up some more big numbers on the scoreboard tonight.
Team, along with speeding the process up from the coaching staff, now with 3rd and 11, this is somewhere where the defense can take advantage of a quarterback who's not very accurate in the passing game.
Piggy going to step up in the pocket and go. And Pigram will be short of the first down marker, Raekwon McMillan.
Takes a lot of lessons from the military and what other great businesses and things do to how do we challenge our guys? How do we get better each and every day? Cameron here is not as much energy, so he said, I guarantee you Urban Meyer is going to be going crazy in that locker room before the game to keep these guys up and get some juice going.
Rocky, give me a perspective. I know there's something that...
And he can relate to a white kid, a black kid, rich kid. Doesn't matter your socioeconomic background. He can find a way to relate to you, and he brings you in, he puts his arm around you and makes you feel...
I thought it was kind of cool. As soon as he came in and sat down, he asked about your sister, who was obviously younger at the time. She's all grown up, and just remembered your parents on coverage. It takes me where I need to bring my eyes. It's a special talent, Rocky. I know it's something, both of us take some time to learn.
And it's funny you say that, Anthony. You start at the center. I start with the defensive line and work backwards, obviously being a defensive guy, but it all starts at the...
He's offset with Pigram. Three-man rush for the Buckeyes. And it is to Funk out in the flat. He's going to have to try and do it by himself, and he won't get to the marker. Not only party in the booth going on.
It's some of the backups now, fourth down, getting their chance to maybe.
And they're going to get it to Teldrick Morgan. First down, Maryland.
Jerome Baker, number 17, took over for him, and it's been a nice year for Baker. But Booker's getting a chance now to get back on the.
You wish you had a whirligig, my friend.
Is that a numbered coloring system? You put ones on my BJ.
That's right.
For sure.
That's Rocky Boyman up in the scoreboard giving us the high end zone view. 3rd and 5. They'll option it with Pigram cut down well short of the first down.
You know, they weren't really pressured today in the Maryland passing attack.
On 4th down. And wrapped up short. Buckeye defense holds. Number 39 is Malik Harrison. By the way, you mentioned.
And this team's in perfect position to continue to do damage.
All these young guys getting a year older. Well, we're sort of the ACC championship game, trying to stay undefeated. Right now, number 2 behind Alabama on 3rd and 13. Funk will not get there. 4th down coming up. Oh, that would be a tough one for Auburn. They moved into the top 10 at number. Guys will be rooting for Michigan, right? They do not want. They want to beat Michigan for their lone loss, right? Because if there's a three-way. If there's a Penn State, Ohio State just head-to-head, that doesn't bode well for the Buckeyes, their lone loss. They want to beat Michigan State, beat Michigan, and then win that Big Ten championship game. Pigram
Of Ohio State, it's going to be really fun to watch.
That's that great Michigan defense, the high-scoring offense for the Buckeyes. They have dominated that rivalry, winning 11.
With Wilton Spate back there, big, tall, 6'6" quarterback throwing from the pocket. And it's tough because defenses, by and large, throughout the year, you don't see that very often. So it'll be tough for Ohio State. What Michigan's offense, what do you do against it? How do you take advantage?
In between the tackles, which I thought Maryland was going to do. If you're big up front at the offensive line and there's smaller linebackers that have a lot of speed, you want to block. I can't speak enough, and I know Rocky and yourself, we all put in the same thing, just how thankful we are and what they do. I mean, there's nothing I could do in my life that would put anything in perspective of what these finds out. Just cut them off. Gotta show them off, man.
Oh, amongst the veterans, too, Urban Meyer was telling us about his dad last night when we met with him. And my brother